Y'all, I am so sorry. I did something that I shouldn't have did. I clicked somebody link. I went back to the old school AT2. AT2 that would click the link and cuss people out. I went back to that old AT2 and I apologize. I should have just did my show like I was going to. So I want to straight up apologize for acting a plum fool because I'm pretty sure y'all hear about it and not just doing my show like I said I was. But when I caught something that was a lie, I was all like, okay, I got to address this real quick. But what's up, beautiful? What's up, Demetria? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I will be dropping the link. What's up, Kita? Hello, hello, hello. Y'all here? Anybody here? Okay, well, let's go ahead and play something and then we'll be right back. Where's my intro? Hold on. Damn, where is my intro? Here we go. Uh-oh. Hold on. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 bringing you another episode to Talk the Real Deal with AT2. Hello, how everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? Hold on, it's too much light. You can't even see the blue in the background. Hold on. Off. Okay, there we go. What's up, Addicted? How you get 2 memberships, Addicted? Did I put this on my second channel? Oh, I know why. Okay. But thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, Rob? What's up, Diamond? What's up, Tanya? What's up, Cammy? CC, Foreign Bay? I love seeing my people. What's up, y'all? So we're going to talk about MAGA Minaj, aka Nicki Minaj. I kind of strayed away from this topic. What's up, Jackie, Sharice? Because like my thing is like I don't want to get involved with the BARBZ and all that shit. You know, they cuckoo crazy. It's a whole bunch of incels and weirdos running around defending a woman who don't give a damn about them. And I'm happy that she kind of said that she don't give a damn about y'all no more. But we're gonna go ahead and get into that too as well. Oh no, your credit card was compromised. I'm sorry about that. What's up, pretty? Oh, and by the way, we don't have access to your credit card. I know some people are like, oh, do you see my... No. Anything through YouTube, we don't have access. Like, you have to contact Google. We don't have the authority to see your... Like, no, it's safe. So I know some people were worried about getting memberships because they thought, like, we could see your credit card number. No, we don't see any of that. But anyway... So Nicki Minaj attacks Gavin Newsom. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do live in California, so that is my governor. As far as Gavin Newsom, I could give a damn about him. I will not be voting for him in the primary to be the president, but if he does become the nominee, I will do what I have to do. So I just want to make that clear before y'all be like, oh, AT2 said he wouldn't vote. No. I said I would do what I have to do. If he is the nominee. But in this case, Nicki Minaj is just doing some weirdo shit. I don't know exactly what she's doing. Like, I understand that she's trolling and stuff like that, but it's gone beyond trolling. Like, this is the shit that she actually believes. So it started with yesterday when she said JD Vance over Newsom, right? And then JD Vance replied back and was all like, Nicki over Cardi, or Nicki greater than Cardi, or whatever, right? With the little greater than sign. It's weird. It's very weird. Because first it started out, oh, well, you know, I'm not political, you know, this is about the Christians in Nigeria, which that's propaganda. But this is about the Christians in Nigeria, and this is why I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then quickly it moved into, no, I'm fully MAGA. I'm retweeting people. If you look at her stuff on X, MAGA all throughout the comment section and praising her and stuff like that. Let me tell you guys something. Nicki always wanted to be like that person. And MAGA always wanted that person. And what I mean by that person is that celebrity. MAGA always wanted a like high profile celebrity, because let's be honest, the last time they thought they had somebody, they thought they had Kanye, and then they quickly found out Kanye is crazy as hell. Like, we can't promote him, and then he tried to run for president as well too. So it got convoluted. But somebody like a Nicki Minaj is somewhat sane. You know, I think she needs to be checked in, but somewhat sane. So it's a easier sell to sell Nicki Minaj than it is at Kanye West. So they finally got that big celebrity that they wanted. You know, they tried Amber Rose, Hulk Hogan, the sleep pillow guy. You know, when it comes to Republicans and especially MAGA, they have like the weird celebrities. Like, it's never nobody like, oh yeah, this is a hella dope celebrity that I want. You know, they have like the not cool people. And then this is why people say like, oh, all the Democrats, they have all the celebrities in Hollywood and blah, blah, blah. But the Republicans want that too. They make it seem like, oh no, we're here for the average day people. But no, they want the celebrities and stuff like that. And so this is finally their opportunity to get in good. The only thing that's crazy is that Nicki Minaj is not even like a citizen. She's like a resident, so she can't even vote. So it's like, it's weird. It's very weird. And so then when you think about it, you have this person who, you know, came out politically to talk about this whole Christian genocide, which I don't know if I explained it to you guys. I know that I did quickly, but let me just say it one more time. Boko Haram is a terrorist group. It's more than just Nigeria. It's throughout, I think, Sudan and, you know, all throughout Africa, the continent of Africa, right? So Boko Haram typically was in the north of Nigeria. In the north, that's where all the Muslims are. Boko Haram has moved more south. And so the south of Nigeria is more Christian. So you have Christians that are being, you know, slaughtered because Boko Haram is going into those territories now. So with that being said, it's been Muslims who have suffered under that terrorist organization. Muslims have mostly. Christians are starting, but Muslims are the ones that have actually, you know, have a higher percentage that have been destroyed, you know, by this terrorist group, which is horrible. I'm not excusing saying like, oh, that makes it okay. Not at all. But again, the bigger picture is that America, this is why Nigeria has rejected any help from America, is because they want something out of it. They want to take resources from Nigeria. No one's going to help for free. There's no such thing as helping for free. Even with Israel, you think we help Israel for free? No, that's to have power and control over the Middle East. And so with that being said, America wants power in Africa because Russia and China kind of got it down packed when it comes to having influence and having that relationship with different countries in Africa. So America wants something like that, except America want to take it by force. That's why it's an issue with Trump talking about he's going to do this and that. But even with that being said, right? Why is Nicki not pushing for Trump to take in refugees? I was looking for answers. Why is Nicki not asking for Trump to take refugees, Christian refugees? But hold on. Remember the white genocide? The white genocide in South Africa? He swooped those white people up and brought them to Alabama. But how come he's not swooping up the black people and bringing them over here? Hello? Hello? I was just wondering, why has he not took in, if there's a Christian genocide, then wouldn't he get those people too? Why is he leaving them if there's a white genocide? By the way, let's clarify something. In South Africa, there is not a white genocide. It's nothing of the sort. Even if you look at the numbers, it's not a real thing at all. No. White people still own 70% of the land in South Africa, a black country. The white people are doing fine, I promise you. They are not struggling. They're doing great. So again, you have something that he done propagated as this white genocide over in South Africa that is not true and brought those people still over here. But there are killings, not excusing it, there are killings in Nigeria, but he hasn't offered any kind of, refuge to those people. Why? Why? And let's be honest about something. When's the last time Nicki been to Nigeria? And then also, this is the problem with celebrities. The major issue with celebrities is that they'll come out and talk when it's convenient for them. Weren't we shocked that, there were so many celebrities that didn't say anything during the election season, but when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, all of a sudden they started talking. Were you surprised by that? Like, out of all the shit that's been going on, when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, all of a sudden they all came out and said, "Oh my God, this is so horrible," blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying it's not bad, but I mean, out of all the things, because, you see Nicki Minaj being an immigrant, you see what ICE is doing, right? And you want to talk about a genocide, how come we're not talking about Gaza? It seemed like a perfect time to talk about Gaza, right? Because that's definitely a genocide. Why are we not talking about the Congo? It's horrible what's happening over there. Why are we not talking about Sudan, who's going through a civil war right now? So it was just weird that they try to use the Christian thing, like, oh, well, because we're a Christian nation, we have to defend the Christians, but they weren't offered sovereignty, like to be freed or anything like that. How come? Is it because their skin is a different shade? You need to understand celebs don't have freedom for free speech about politics. No, they have free speech just like anybody else. I don't agree with that. Right, Darcy. I don't like it either. So let me go ahead and backtrack a little bit, because yes, a part of it has to do with her hate for Gavin Newsom, but also it's her issue with the Biden administration. Remember because I remember this because I talked about it. Remember Nicki had said the whole thing about she was asking for advice if she should get the vaccine, right? She was asking for advice, and then she said, because my cousin said that my cousin knows someone who said that after he got the shot, he became infertile, right? And then everybody was making fun of Nicki for saying that. And Nicki was all like, no, it's true. He told me this. And it was kind of like, okay, so the vaccine made him infertile. Like, what? And so then it was like Nicki had said something like, oh, yeah, the White House invited me to come, blah, blah, blah. And then the Biden administration put something out and was all like, no, we said that we would have a conversation with her, but we never invited her. And so it was like that was like the first tension right there. And then there's been this story about how Nicki Minaj's house has been swatted, which it has, right? I'm not going to joke about that. That's a real thing. Her house had been swatted, right? But she has blamed Gavin Newsom for not helping with that situation. But here's the thing. Gavin wouldn't necessarily be able to have anything to do with that. Yes, he's the governor, but that's your local police force. Like, your police is not handling that. That's not Gavin's responsibility. So that argument is very weird. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into the tweets. Nicki is getting paid to speak, and Nicki doesn't have endorsements to get canceled. Nicki is far right because she thinks there is a pardon in the future. And I know a lot of people have said, like, she wants to get a pardon for her brother and then one for her husband. A lot of people have said that. And listen, I'm not going to say, oh no, she's not going to get a pardon for them. It's very plausible. You know, when you kiss MAGA ass, you get what you want. That's how Snoop Dogg got his friend out of jail. That's why Snoop didn't come out and say anything during the election, but then he performed at that cryptocurrency ball for the Trump administration. Yeah, that's why that went down. Okay. So this is one of the tweets. Nicki said, imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Ha ha ha. Not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav nots. Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored. So here's the thing. I don't mind her opinion about trans kids. Now, I'll say this. Do I think kids should transition early? No, I don't think that at all. However, whatever somebody's parent and doctor chooses to do, that's what they choose to do. But it's not even the issue of that. It's the issue that this is a whole lie. He's not running on anything about trans people. Remember, they did this to Kamala Harris with the she's for them, they, and not for us. Remember, they did this to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris never ran on anything about trans people. The law that they were talking about was the one about trans people being able to get care in jail, you know, for hormone replacement, sex changes, and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, that law was actually signed when Trump was president. That was a law that came into effect when Trump was president. And he didn't change it. And let's fast forward to now. Has he changed that law at all? I don't think he has. So that's interesting. All right, so here's the next tweet. It says, oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let the beautiful hair blow in the wind. It will make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy your life. Peace. Okay. And then this one says, Gavin is the cute boy who got everything handed to him because of how cute, sexy, and hot and smoking he was. Oh, look at him. Sitting there in that suit with the sneakers on. He thinks he's Tom Cruise. Only difference is his next mission is impossible. He should get another leading role. Okay. And then this was a retweet right here, and it's saying the goats, and it says real Donald Trump, JD Vance, and Nicki Minaj. But in this video, it also has Elon Musk, who pushes this whites are being replaced theory all throughout X, right? And then Nicki says, heroes, the good guys, God bless America, let's go, we got fun to have. She's either an excellent troll or this is like some shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the thing is that I honestly feel that she didn't like that Cardi and Megan got so much attention around the election. I don't think she liked that. And then somehow she tries to tie Kamala into Rock Nation. And somehow this is going to circle back to Rock Nation, y'all. It's going to circle back to Rock Nation. I'm telling you. Somehow she's going to be all like, yeah, Rock Nation was working with the Democrats and gave them this and that. It's going to turn into that soon. I promise you. But it's all like, this is your winning team. And this is when you come out and speak. Out of all the other times, you never came out and spoke about nothing. There were some tweets about the NSARS. Remember that was about the same terrorist group back in like 2017. Remember when they did the whole return our girls or bring our girls back when those girls were kidnapped and stuff like that? She has spoke out about that before. You know, I will give her credit to this. But out of all the time that she has been silent, now she chooses to come out. It very strategic. And here's the thing. I'd rather you just stand on it and be all like, hey, I fully support them. I like what they're doing. They're doing this, they're doing that. You know, this is who I am and blah, blah, blah. That would be completely fine with me. But it's when the celebrities get wrapped up in the MAGA thing, they try to say, oh, well, you know, I just care about my country. And it's always some bullshit. They never just say like, yeah, Trump's my homie. This is who I'm rocking with. You know, be honest about it. Just say like, yeah, this is what I like. This is what I want. This is who I support. This is what I agree with. But that whole the apolitical thing, like, oh, I don't get into politics. That's the soft launch to their right-wing conservative Republican, you know, introduction. Whenever you hear somebody say, I'm apolitical, that's their soft launch into Republicanism. It is not, don't believe that they say, oh, I'm apolitical. When they say I'm apolitical, that's their introduction, their soft launch right there. Because shortly after they say they're apolitical, all of a sudden they'll start retweeting things saying rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. They'll be talking about Christianity and all this other stuff. And then sooner or later, they'll be like, I'm MAGA, bitch. I'm telling you. Now, Nicki kind of went for a hard line. This was definitely a hard launch. This was not a soft launch at all. But again, this is kind of like that, yeah, I'm trying to say, oh, yeah, you can have it this way or you can have it that way. But No, people aren't rocking with it. Correct, 82. That's why I just got to the point. Democrats get ready. Strategies. Exactly. Now, do I think that the cultural war thing will work in 2026 for the midterms? No. I don't think the culture war will work because it's all like, okay, well, you're in power, so you're able to stop this stuff, right? So what are you still complaining about? Yeah, I bet you she is, right? But even then, I'll say with the Sydney Sweeney girl or whatever, right? Y'all be acting so shocked. It drives me crazy. If somebody is white, like a social media influencer or celebrity, and they're white and they're usually quiet on things, I automatically assume I assume they're a Republican or they're MAGA or something like that. I automatically assume that. I'm never shocked. I did not look at that girl and go like, she must be a liberal. No, I automatically knew that she was MAGA. Yeah, that did not shock me. A lot of the blonde hair, blue eyes, all American types, just assume that they are. Like, stop being shocked, y'all. Like, y'all be shocked about the wrong damn people. Like, I'm all like, yeah, I've seen that, you know. Nicki is trying to get it to where her husband is removed from the sex. And listen, you know, now that you bring that up, and thank you for that comment. You know what's so funny? You are worried about the trans kids, but not worried about your husband, you know, being on the list. You know, that list. Priorities, right? Priorities. But again, hopefully you get that pardon. You get everything that you trying to get. Hopefully it's worth it. Now, do I think that Nicki's career is going to go down the tube or whatever? No, I don't think her career is going to suffer. I will say that, you know, we'll find out once she puts out something and see if people still go crazy for it and stuff like that. But she's being used as a useful idiot. A useful idiot. Somebody who doesn't really know. And it's easy because what ends up happening is that with our algorithm, depending on, you know, how your algorithm is set up, you will only see something. So right now, Nicki is probably in like a whole tunnel of just, you know, all the whatchamacallit, all the MAGA shit. Because like if you're just looking at MAGA all day, that's all that you will get. Like my X account, it's all MAGA because I've been combating, you know, I'll do reviews, reaction videos, and then, you know, it's not necessarily that I like it, but if I'm like retweeting it so I can save the video and then upload it, they're thinking like, oh, well, you're MAGA. So I see this shit on my timeline a lot. So what I will do is go through X and like shit that I like on purpose to try to get a mixture of both, because you can get lost down that rabbit hole. Yeah, rabbit hole. That's the word I was looking for. You can get lost in that rabbit hole. And right now, Nicki is lost in that rabbit hole. She's in that rabbit hole and no one can tell her anything different. Everything that we're saying to combat her, she thinks is a lie. Oh, they just don't want you to, you know, they don't want you to be a free thinker. That's how they framed it. And let me give MAGA credit. They have framed it to where if you disagree, you're not a free thinker. You know, I wonder, you know, will they wake up? Remember, I had said the thing a couple of months ago. Remember the whole, like her husband be saying the F word and shit like that? Remember I told you guys about that? But like people just excuse it like, oh, we don't care. Okay, y'all don't care, you know? And listen, they didn't say it directly to somebody gay. I do want to, you know, put context to that. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I think honestly, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna just be honest. It's an easier sell to say like, oh, I don't like trans people before you really deep dive and be like, oh, I don't like gay people in general. If you notice, it usually starts with the trans people first, and then it'll quickly dive into, well, I don't like any of you. So don't be surprised. It never ceases to amaze me how far removed these celebrities. Right. And listen, I wanted to go see Janet when she was in Vegas, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't. And it wasn't that, because she was, it was just weird. Because she was talking about Kamala Harris' race, and like, oh, I didn't know that she was black. I thought she was Indian. Have y'all looked at the Jacksons' offsprings and stuff like that? We could easily say that them niggas ain't black. If you look at all the Jackson offsprings, I don't think there's a full black one. Shout out to all the biracials. This is not biracial hate, but and even Janet Jackson child is biracial. But you gonna say that somebody is not black and your whole family look like We Are the World? We are the children. We are the ones who make a better place. So let's stop giving or start giving. Janet, especially with all their new noses. Y'all all went to the chop shop and got new noses and everything like that. Y'all didn't keep y'all big ass bell pepper nose. Y'all all went and changed your nose. And mind you, other surgeries too that y'all got. But y'all all went to the chop shop and got your nose done. So you want to talk about black? Like, what? That's fucking weird, you know? Weird. I don't know. Her Janet would alter her appearance. Ding, ding, ding. Ronnie said it. There we go. I forgot the word. I was going to recite the whole thing, but I forgot the word. Oh, man. Yo, I heard about that. The whole, her house being, because of the thing with the security guard or whatever. And honestly, this is what I honestly think. Nicki is bored at home. I think all she does is stay at home. I think the woman is bored at home. She don't know what to do. And so this is her freedom. This is her way of, because let's be honest about something. And I'm not hating on nobody on Station Head, but what actual celebrity is on Station Head? Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. And I consider Nicki Minaj an A-lister. Goes on Station Head and just rants. Something ain't right. And I think also all those tax issues and everything like that. There's a lot going on there's a lot going on. Oh. But was she the Attorney General of California or just in San Francisco or district attorney at that time? Hold on, let me see. When did Kamala become? 2011. So yeah, she wasn't even the Attorney General at that time. I thought Station Head was far right. No. I think that's what Milagro and all of them be on Station Head. Well, to be fair, I'm not on Station Head like that, so you might be right, EH. You might be right. Well, That explains how Nicki went down that rabbit hole, because she over there on Station Head. That might, yeah. Okay, you help me out with that. Yeah, I didn't put two and two together, but definitely if that's where, like, I was just thinking it was X how she got down that rabbit hole, but now I can see, like, if Station Head, then it's X and Station Head that got her down this rabbit hole with the MAGA thing. And Cardi B is currently in Saudi Arabia right now. I didn't play you guys what she said, because again, the vice president, which, let's just, we normalize shit so much that we don't even realize that is weird. Like, to talk about your constituents like a private citizen. Well, she's not a private citizen, but talk about, one of your constituents, like, in a manner of like, oh, this person is better than you. That shit is fucking weird. It's not, it's not right, you guys. It's not. I don't care if y'all hate Cardi and all this other shit. It's not right.
I'm starting not to like America. America made me pay taxes. The vice president talking shit about me on Twitter. Like, I don't know. I don't feel appreciated on America. Y'all need to convince me to come back. Y'all got to beg me to come back. It's very strict out here.
She said, you got to beg me to come back. Listen, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. What's up, Aaron? I'm like, what is going on? It's not right, And it's funny because everybody was beating up on Cardi B, like, oh, she sounded dumb. She forgot her speech or whatever because the prompter had failed and she had to read from her phone and stuff like that. But at least she was out there. At least she was warning people like, hey, shit's going to get really real if Trump gets in office. Oh, Megan Thee Stallion was twerking on stage. Okay, but at least she was telling y'all, hey, vote for Kamala. Oh, she had Glorilla. Okay, but at least she supported Kamala and told y'all to vote for her. Like, the whole thing about, oh, look at them, they over there doing this and that, and oh, Kamala, that's all you can get is Megan and Cardi and all that. Okay, what's wrong with that? And mind you, the thing with Megan had already been to the White House a few times talking about women's reproductive health, women, domestic violence, because she went through her situation. And everybody didn't know that Megan had history with Kamala, so it made sense why she would support her. And with Cardi B, she's always been involved in politics. And then remember, she was mad at Biden and said she wasn't supporting nobody. And then when Kamala jumped in the race, that's when she changed her mind. What's the reason for Vance doing this? You know what's interesting, Sephora? Remember when Kamala was the vice president, and they were like, well, she's in office right now. Why don't she do this? Why don't she do that? Why don't she do this? Oh, she's always on vacation. Oh, I never see her. How come JD Vance don't get that same attention? How come JD Vance don't get that same smoke? Why don't JD Vance create some policies? Why don't JD Vance help with affordability, help with housing, help with raising minimum wage? What is JD Vance doing? Oh, because you realize the vice president doesn't push any policy. Like, that's not the position of a vice president, dummy. But it's funny how we're not questioning him on why he's not changing policies and doing anything. But y'all wanted Kamala to solve the issue in Gaza. And she kept saying, ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. Oh, she supported by Israel. She stands up for Israel. Okay, well, the other guy was paid over $100 million by an Israel asset. And see what happened with that. See how they were bragging that he had a ceasefire but they're still dropping bombs on Gaza? How did you really help the people in Gaza? And this is why I made my video yesterday about Jasmine Crockett, because they're trying to Israel and Gaza her to death, right? That's probably the wrong word, but they're trying to use that. But it's like, it seems like they only use the Gaza and Israel thing when it comes to the black politicians. Because Tellerico, the guy running against Jasmine Crockett, supports Israel. And even received money from the same lady that Trump received money from. I gotta look up her name. I'm gonna give you guys her name. Hold on. It already know what I'm talking about. That gave 100 million. See, it put it in the Google thing. Miriam Elderson. Elderson. Yeah, Elderson. Am I saying that right? Miriam Elderson. Okay. Did Miriam Elderson give money to Tellerico? Yes, Texas Democrat James Tellerico received significant campaign funds from the groups funded by casino magnate Miriam Elderson, specifically $59,000 for Texas Sands PAC in 2024. But you're seeing all this stuff. You're seeing all this stuff about Jasmine Crockett taking. Jasmine Crockett does not take AIPAC money. She didn't get any AIPAC money. And listen, at this point, if Jasmine Crockett got $1 from AIPAC, that wouldn't change my perception of her, because y'all just use that as a tool to bash the black candidate. So I don't care about that anymore. You know what my hard line is now? My hard line is if you anti-black. That's my hard line. If you anti-black, I don't want nothing to do with you. And I will not support you. But now that I realize the game, how they use that whole Gaza-Israel thing, and mind you, my stance on Gaza doesn't change. Free Palestine. Like, my position hasn't changed at all, you guys. I just want to let y'all know. I'm talking specifically about these people that think that they can bully you into believing something and trying to take these politicians down for doing. Listen, Israel is always going to be a thing, because just like I said earlier in this video, Israel literally is the only type of power that we have in the Middle East. Israel is always going to be a thing. It's not like tomorrow they're going to cut communication with Israel. Now, do they need to leverage that relationship with Israel and say, hey, we're not going to supply you with bombs, Yes, of course. But if you think that they're going to completely cut off Israel, that's a joke. She was married to Sheldon Ellison. She is an Israel-American dual citizenship like Bibi Netanyahu. She gave Trump $300K, and he bragged it was the reason why he increased foreign aid to Israel. Oh, listen, she gave more than 300. It was 100 million. It was, hold on, how much was it? It was, she and her late husband have donated hundreds of millions to the Republican causes, with significant amounts directed to support Trump, exceeding 100 million in a single cycle. With reports noting, they gave 90 million in beforehand. But yeah, they given a lot of money. So yeah, my thoughts on the whole Nicki thing. Listen, she like it, I love it. But again, she's being used as a useful idiot. I don't think she wants to realize. It's one of those things where I'm all like, oh, well, maybe she doesn't realize. No, she knows. Y'all, listen, I just hope she gets something out of it. That's all I can say. I hope you get something out of it and not doing this for free 99. That's the only thing I can say. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here, but I appreciate every single one of y'all for the love and support. I love y'all. Please be safe. Love one another. But we out, y'all. Deuces, everybody.